Our paramilitary group is creating, according to the United Nations, a catastrophic humanitarian crisis in the region. This has been going on for 7 months now, and the UN says around 9,000 people have been killed. In recent weeks, the paramilitary group that I'm referring to, RSF, or Rapid Support Forces, has made a significant advance in the western Sudanese region of Darfur, where it has reportedly killed more than 700 people over the course of several days. Now, CNN's Nima al-Baghir and her team traveled to the neighboring country, Chad, where thousands of people have fled since the beginning of the war. And there they spoke with refugees who detailed unimaginable depravity, some describing systematic rape and being sold like cattle. We must warn you, the images and the subject of the report we're about to show you are quite disturbing.
A scene all too familiar in West Darfur. Social media footage widely circulated last week showing RSF soldiers and supporting militia rounding up men, harassing them, threatening them. CNN has been able to geolocate these videos, placing them in Ardamata, an outlying district of El Jinena, the capital of West Darfur, where some of the worst atrocities during the recent war have taken place. Over the last year during the war in Sudan, the RSF have targeted members of African tribal groups, including the Masalit, who claim Darfur as their ancestral land. Many of the RSF belong to tribes which, unlike the Masalit, claim Arab ancestry. What we're about to show you is very disturbing. These are the most recent images emerging from Darfur. What you are looking at is a mass grave filled with over a dozen bodies. Some are alive, others clearly dead. One man can be seen throwing earth on top of another, even though he is still alive. A man off camera can be heard shouting as someone appears from beneath a pile of dirt. He quickly buries his head back into the earth. We don't know the fate of these men. It's also unclear whether the men seen in the ditch are the same men as those in the video running from RSF soldiers and militia loyal to the RSF. But it does illustrate the newest, most horrific pattern of violence in the region. Communication in Darfur has been deliberately choked by the RSF. It's been excruciatingly hard to understand exactly what's happening there. A few months ago, we traveled to a refugee camp in Adre, Chad, where survivors and eyewitnesses of these brutal attacks were able to cross the border. One by one, brave survivors came forward wanting to share, to document what has happened to them, describing the horrors from the city of El Jinena, stories of rape and enslavement.
From within our family, we lost more than 40 men.
They said to my father, "We're going to rape your daughter in front of you." The RSF said, "Leave these ones. We will find better ones to sell. These ones, let's rape them."
Textbook ethnic cleansing. These are the hallmarks of genocide. CNN interviewed over a dozen survivors and eyewitnesses in El Jinena, where civilians were targeted and where women were being sold from slave houses.
There were RSF soldiers outside, and they beat me until they forced me into the building. Inside, I saw 9 or 10 girls, some without clothes. They told us they will sell us very cheaply. They said, "We kill all the men. We will not leave any black skin here. You have to leave. Get out." They said they will be the only ones to sleep with us, because if we have our own children, our sons will one day take revenge.
She managed to escape but was recaptured and brought to a different location where she was repeatedly raped. But it's not just women being affected. Mahdi, who's only 16, was kidnapped by the RSF with his brother and forced to work at a farm.
يقول الولد القوي قوي أني شيل لا جاب كده بس شافني كده يظل عمل شاف كده أنا وقت دق مربطين ويونا ما شايفين
أنت ما شايفك أنت شايف
شايف أي ودك كده دقاني ذات دقاني في محله وبعد دق لي ولد ده أنا ولد ده نشيله أنا ولد ده نبي منك نديك قريش كده
The word slave in Arabic is a racial slur, equivalent to the N-word, so we're bleeping it out in his testimony. Mahdi doesn't know how much they bought him for, but he was eventually taken to another location where he was forced to work. He says his brother, taken at the same time, was killed by the RSF. Survivor after survivor told CNN how the RSF spoke of wiping out the African descendant Masalit. It's Masalit ancestral land in Darfur that the RSF are currently occupying. Part of a fertile landmass that the commander of the RSF has been strategically looking to secure for the last 20 years, changing the demographics from African to Arab. Na'mah, الباقر, CNN, London.